What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Blessing electric guitar tutorial video, and I'm going to jump right into it. It's by Elevation Worship, Kari, Jobe, and Cody Carnes. And I'm going to be playing through my Helix patch today that I created specifically for the song. It covers swells, rhythm parts, specific parts that I'm going to teach you in this tutorial. So we are in the key of B major, and basically the first third of the song I'm going to be doing swells until we get to the first bridge. This song is like an 8-minute song, so dynamically we have a lot of ways to go. So it's important to kind of hold back and kind of fill out the ambient stuff, especially at the beginning of the song, and then we want the song to go somewhere, especially with the electric guitar. It helps with the dynamics of that. So I'm going to start out with some swells, and I'm going to show you some options that you can do for the swells. I did hear a couple like triads up top, but let me start down low and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the first shape that I'm playing is this, and I'm using my volume pedal to get that swell. So it's just my first finger on the 2nd fret A string and my 4th finger on the 4th fret B string, and I'm literally using my 2 fingers to only get those 2 notes at the same time, and then I'm swelling. So that provides my 1st and my 3rd. And then my 2nd chord is that I'm going to teach you is the E major chord, and that's just my open low E string and my 1st finger on the 1st fret G string, and it sounds like this. And my next chord is the F sharp major chord, and that is my just using 2 fingers, my 2nd finger on the low E string 2nd fret and my 4th finger on the 3rd fret G string. And then my last chord that I'm going to cover is the G sharp minor chord, and it sounds like this. It's my ring finger on the 4th fret low E string and my pinky on the 4th fret G string, and it sounds like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle between these chords depending on the chord progression, and what's nice about this song, it's basically your G sharp minor to your E chord and to your B chord and to the F sharp. So that's the basic chord progression. Each chord gets a bar the majority of the time, and it's basically that same chord progression the whole song. And so it'll sound like this. Another thing I'm doing when I play that F sharp, sometimes I like to sneak in that B string open. So how I do it is like this. Creates a little bit of dissonance, some tension there. Another place you can play your swells is up kind of in the mid-range, mid to high range area. And you can play, so this is like a D shape that I'm playing in the key of B. So it'd just be like this down here, down low, but it's up here in the B position. And then my minor chord is this. So my D chord is on the 11th fret G string, 12th fret B string, and 11th fret high E string. That's my B. My G sharp minor is the 13th fret G string, 12th fret B string, and 11th fret E string. And then how I play my E chord is I play it like a sus, like a D sus. So it's your B shape here, but I'm adding my pinky to the 12th fret. That's how I'm getting my E chord. And then my F sharp, you can play it like this. You can play just like how you had your first finger on the 11th fret, G string, 12th fret, B string. I can put my middle finger on the 12th fret B string and then add my pinky on the high 14th fret E string. So what I can do is I can make it a suspension there when I play my F sharp, so it could sound like this. So what I can do is I can bar that B string with my first finger and then let go of that B string on the 12th fret down to the 11th fret. That would technically be your F sharp. This would be your F sharp sus. So in context, it could sound like this. So those are some swell options to kind of get you through that first third of the song. And then the first lead line that you hear is during the bridge. If you don't know what the bridge is the May His Favor Shine Upon You. That's where that part starts. And there's a clean guitar part that kind of mimics the melody a little bit. And it sounds like this. So how I'm playing that is just on 2 strings, the G string on the 4th fret, and then my open B string is open throughout the whole time. So I'm kind of alternating the picking there, and I'm going to use my fingers because it's not as harsh as my pick, just to kind of get that subtlety because it's still kind of dynamically quiet there, and you're starting to build a little bit but not too much. So it's your middle finger. This is how I'm playing it. Middle finger on the 4th fret G string. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift that up 2 frets to the 6th fret. And then slide down to the 3rd fret G string. So it adds a little bit of tension there, which is cool. Then when the bridge starts building, there's this part that I'm hearing it's still the bridge, that I think the pads are kind of covering it too, but you can also cover it on electric. And that sounds like this. And you can alternate pick. Sometimes I like to do all downstrokes to get some intensity, but also just because it's easier for me to play that part. And so I don't accidentally bump any other strings. It's just the most consistent for me. But you can alternate pick. So how you play that is the 12th fret B string to the 16th fret B string to the 14th fret B string. This is all on the B string. And then down to the 9th fret B string. to the 7th fret B string, and then to the 11th fret B string. So that's going to come back again when we're full band, and if you're the lead guitar player and you're playing that lead part, that is what you would play. Just put some more gain, a little bit more distortion on that, and it's going to sound like this. I'm going to switch to maybe like a bridge position or something. So when I play that with higher distortion, I actually kind of use my fingers to kind of bar almost and mute the rest of these strings, because I like to dig into my notes a little bit, and that is why my fingers look that way, is because when I'm downstroking, I'm hitting these other strings, but I don't want them to ring out, so that's why I am covering these strings. Also, if you want to give it some attitude, you can give it the notes a little bit of vibrato. So building off of that, when the band is full band and we go into the chorus, which is the amens, you are mimicking the melody again, so it sounds like this. So that is your ring finger on the 16th fret B string. So how that goes is we're on the 16th fret B string, and they're all 16th notes, down to the 14th B string, up to the 17th B string, down back to the 16th. And then back to the 17th, down to the 16th, and then 16, 17, 14. And then repeat. Make sense? Now I'm going to go over some rhythm parts. Like I was showing you down here, we're going to head back down here and play some rhythm. If you're the rhythm player, my first chord is my B chord. Technically it's a B2 chord. Right? And how I'm doing that is I'm barring this 2nd fret with my first finger on the B, or on the B note on the A string 2nd fret. And then I'm putting my ring finger and my pinky on the 4th fret D string and G string. And then I'm barring these top 2 frets strings on the 2nd fret. How I play my G sharp minor 7, I play middle finger on the 4th fret, low E string, ring finger on the D string, 4th fret, and pinky on the G string, 4th fret. So what I'm doing is I'm muting that A string by just kind of resting my my middle finger, and then this first finger is not doing anything, it's just kind of behind my fingers. So now we've got the B chord, the G sharp minor 7 chord, and now I'm going to go to my E chord. It's the E5. Traditionally you would play an E chord like this, but in this case, since I'm in the key of B, It's a little easier to play it this way, and it sounds more punchy because you're not adding technically the third. It's just the 1 and the 5 note of the E chord. So I'm barring my 2nd fret A string, D string, and G string. And then I'm adding my pinky on the 4th fret G string. And then I'm playing all of my strings open. What I'm doing is I'm lifting my hand up to get these top 2 strings to ring out. It's a little bit more punchy that way. So my last chord is the F sharp major. So I play it kind of like a bar chord, but kind of think of it like you play your B chord like this. And now I'm adding my 1st finger to the F sharp on the low E string. And then now what I do is I only let those strings ring out. The low E string, the D string, and the G string. And I kind of skip the A string. So now it's an F sharp sus. And what you can do is you can resolve that down. So when you play the F sharp, you can play it like this. So what I'm doing is I'm releasing my pinky to the fret below, and I'm fretting the 3rd fret G string below that note. So I'm just letting go of my pinky at that point. So in context, it would sound like this. Cool. So now I'm going to show you, if you are the rhythm player or lead player, you could do it however you want. You can play up here in this kind of mid-range area. If you're not playing the lead line or playing down low, you can play here. So this is my B chord. It's my 1st finger on the 9th fret D string, and my ring finger on the 11th fret G string, and my pinky on the 12th fret B string. And I'm only playing those notes. So sometimes I can use my middle finger since it's not doing much. Since I like to dig into my chords, I will kind of use that extra finger to mute any strings that I don't want to ring out. So those 3 strings that I mentioned are the only strings that I want to ring out. So by using my middle finger to mute the strings, I can actually hit all the strings, and it doesn't matter because they're being muted. So that's my B chord. My G sharp minor 7 is this. It's my middle finger on the 11th fret A string, and I kept my 2 fingers in the same position as I did with my B chord. The only thing is I changed the bass note. If that makes sense. So now that is my G sharp minor 7. My E chord is barring. It's like, okay, now start at your B chord where I started. And now release your ring finger down, and now bar that 9th fret. So still the D string, the G string, and the B string. Now that is my E chord. Just releasing a note. That's my E chord. And then my F sharp. Keep your 2 fingers in the same spot, anchored, and then place your 1st finger on the 9th fret A string. Now that is my F sharp suspended, and then what I do is to resolve that, I move my pinky down a half step on the B string from the 12th fret to the 11th fret. So in context, it would sound like this. Thank you guys so much for watching the tutorial of The Blessing. And if you love these tutorials and you're a big fan, feel free to please go to my Patreon and help these tutorials keep getting produced. If you are playing this in your church and you're not playing in the original key and you need help with coming up with parts, transposing these parts, that is a great way to go to my Patreon. You can message me directly, and if you're part of my Patreon, I can help you figure out parts, create new parts, just to be somebody to bounce ideas off of me. Have another guitar player to bounce ideas off of, especially for songs that you're playing maybe the coming weekend, or songs that you need help with, songs that you need transposing. Maybe there's a part that you don't audibly hear in a recording or something, and you might need help with creating a part or figuring out what to play in a certain place. That is also great for that too. So we'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching.